Canada's cheaper, cleaner oil can rival a resurgent Venezuela, Carney says. Mark Carney just told Venezuela to bring it on, and honestly, the confidence is absolutely unhinged. Canada's new Prime Minister looked at one of the world's largest oil reserves making a comeback and essentially said, "Yeah, cute. We've got better oil." Bold? Absolutely. Delusional? Well, let's find out. Quick favor. If you're loving this energy, smash that subscribe button. Over 92% of you haven't yet. It's free, takes literally 2 seconds, and it helps us keep reporting on Canadian politics. Thanks if you did. Now, back to the chaos. So here's the situation. Venezuela, the country that's been economically limping for years thanks to sanctions, mismanagement, and basically every bad decision imaginable, is suddenly back in the oil game. American sanctions are easing, investments are flowing in again, and their massive reserves, some of the biggest on the planet, are looking attractive to global markets. For most oil-producing countries, this would be terrifying news. More Venezuelan oil means more competition, lower prices, and potentially losing market share. But Mark Carney? The man just shrugged and said Canadian oil is cheaper, cleaner, and lower risk. That's not just confidence, that's main character energy. Let's break down this triple threat claim, starting with cheaper. Now, when you think Venezuelan oil, you might picture black gold flowing freely from the ground like a beverage at an all-you-can-drink brunch. And technically, you're not wrong. Venezuela has oil. Lots of it. But here's the catch. Their oil is heavy, thick, and requires expensive refining. It's like ordering a deluxe burger that looks amazing on the menu but arrives as a deconstructed mess you have to assemble yourself. Meanwhile, Canadian oil, particularly from the oil sands, has gotten significantly cheaper to produce over the last decade. New technology, efficiency improvements, and economies of scale have driven costs down. We're talking production costs that can compete with almost anyone. So when Carney says cheaper, he's not just being patriotic, he's citing spreadsheets. And you know what? Spreadsheets don't lie. Now let's talk cleaner, because this is where it gets spicy. Canada's oil industry has spent years getting absolutely roasted, both literally and figuratively, over emissions. Environmental groups have pointed at the oil sands and said, that's the villain. And fair, oil sands extraction isn't exactly a yoga retreat for Mother Earth. But here's the thing. Canada has been investing heavily in carbon capture technology, methane reduction, and cleaner extraction methods. Venezuelan oil production, on the other hand, operates with outdated infrastructure, minimal environmental oversight, and let's be honest, regulations that are more suggestions than rules. It's like comparing a Tesla factory to a 1972 Volkswagen bus that runs on hope and duct tape. Relatively speaking, Canadian oil is the cleaner option, and Carney knows it. But here's where Carney really drops the hammer. Lower risk. This isn't about geology or technology. This is about geopolitics, and oh boy, does Canada have the advantage here. Venezuela's political situation is, how do I put this delicately, a dumpster fire on a sinking ship during a hurricane. International investors have been burned repeatedly by nationalization threats, corruption, and sudden policy changes that make zero economic sense. Buying Venezuelan oil is like lending money to that friend who still owes you from 2 years ago. Sure, they promise they're good for it this time, but are they really? Canada, meanwhile, is stable, predictable, and boring in all the best ways. We have functioning institutions, contract enforcement, and a legal system that doesn't change based on who's angry that week. For energy companies and foreign buyers, that stability is worth its weight in crude. So Carney's argument isn't just swagger, it's actually pretty solid. But here's the twist. While he's confident about beating Venezuela, the real challenge isn't some South American comeback story. It's the global transition away from fossil fuels entirely. Electric vehicles are accelerating, renewable energy is getting cheaper, and countries are setting net zero targets faster than you can say carbon tax. Canada can win the oil competition and still end up competing in a shrinking market. It's like being the best blockbuster store in town when everyone's switching to streaming. You might be the best, but the game itself is changing. And that's the real gamble Carney's making here. He's betting that global oil demand will remain strong enough, long enough, for Canadian oil to thrive. He's betting that Canada's advantages, cheaper, cleaner, lower risk, will matter more than Venezuela's sheer volume. He's betting that the world will choose stability and quality over bargain basement uncertainty. And honestly, he might be right. But he also might be fighting yesterday's battle while tomorrow's war is already being waged on a completely different front. Either way, watching Mark Carney stare down Venezuela with the energy of someone who just won a debate they weren't even invited to is absolutely peak Canadian passive-aggressive excellence. We're not saying you can't compete. We're just saying good luck with that. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll catch you